When a Marine loses his hat while standing guard, he's not allowed to move to get it. But when President Trump picks it up for him, the Marine is surprised. What happened next shocked everyone and quickly went viral online. A strong gust of wind suddenly appeared. Private Miller stood still with his partner, trying to stay calm. The president was getting closer and closer to them. This was the moment Miller had always dreamed of, but the wind hit them so fast, he didn't have time to prepare. In a split second, his hat flew right off his head and rolled along the ground. What could he do? He couldn't move. He had no idea what would happen next. Miller was terrified. He had worked so hard for this moment, and now it was turning into a disaster. What would his father think? All he wanted to do was close his eyes in embarrassment. His whole journey to this point was flashing before him. Serving his country with honor was his lifelong dream. Growing up in a small Nebraska town, Miller admired the discipline of military life, always picturing himself in the Marine Corps uniform. He wasn't the first in his family to feel this way. His grandfather had fought in World War II, and his father had served in the Vietnam War. From a young age, stories of courage and sacrifice shaped his path to military service. As a child, Miller was always focused and disciplined. His room was spotless, and he finished schoolwork with great care. In high school, he joined the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, where he learned the basics of military life and developed a deep passion for serving his country. Right after high school, he joined the Marines, determined to continue his family's legacy. The decision was not without its challenges, though. His mother, though proud, was also anxious about the dangers he might face. His father, however, understood his son's calling and supported his decision wholeheartedly. The day Miller left for boot camp was a bittersweet one, filled with tears of both pride and concern. Boot camp was a transformative experience for Miller. The grueling physical challenges, coupled with the mental toughness required, forged him into a disciplined and resilient Marine. Every day was a test of endurance, from early morning drills to late-night study sessions. He learned to operate various weapons, mastered hand-to-hand combat, and understood the importance of teamwork and camaraderie. His instructors noted his exceptional attention to detail and his unwavering sense of duty, qualities that he hoped would allow him to fulfill priority assignments one day. He wanted to be the best of the best, and this was evident through the awards he received right from the beginning of his career. Miller's early career was filled with commendations and promotions. During his first deployment in a conflict zone, he displayed remarkable bravery by saving fellow Marines during an ambush, earning him recognition. Despite this, he remained humble, always focused on his duties while seeking more challenging assignments. One day, his commander informed him that he had been chosen to assist the president during the G20 Summit at Joint Base Andrews in Germany. This was a prestigious honor requiring the highest level of trust. For Miller, this was a dream assignment, one he had always hoped for but never thought possible. When his colleagues caught wind of his assignment, they immediately began teasing him. They playfully mocked him about all the things that could go wrong. They joked about him forgetting a piece of his uniform or having toothpaste on his face. It was all in good fun, but Miller couldn't help but fear, deep down, that he might make some mistake. So much was at stake. For an assignment like this, he needed to be on top of his game. He spent countless hours preparing, ensuring that every aspect of his uniform was perfect and that his demeanor was befitting the solemn duty he was about to undertake. The confirmation process for this prestigious assignment was rigorous. Miller had to undergo a series of evaluations, including physical fitness tests, psychological assessments, and background checks. His exemplary service record and the commendations he had received played a crucial role in his selection. When the official notice came, Miller felt an overwhelming sense of pride and responsibility. He knew this was not just an honor for him, but for his family as well. When he got permission to let them know, he phoned home right away. He could hear the pride in his father's voice when he acknowledged his achievement. To Miller, this was everything. His mother was beside herself with pride, but also anxious. Such a high-profile case meant high risk. She always worried terribly after her son. Little did she realize what was actually going to happen. The day was clear, but very windy at Joint Base Andrews as Marine One waited for the president. Miller stood at attention, unfazed by the gusts, while Air Force One warmed up, ready to fly the president home. His job was to ensure the president's safety despite the challenging weather. Strong winds swept across the tarmac, causing some unease, but Miller remained focused. He had trained in worse conditions and wouldn't let the wind distract him. When the president's black cars arrived, Miller tensed, knowing this was a significant moment. As President Trump approached, the wind blew around them, but he continued chatting with his aide while heading toward the plane. Miller stared straight ahead, anticipating the president's passing. But then the unthinkable happened, something that made his toes curl right where he stood. His hat blew right off his head and onto the ground, directly in the path of the president. Miller's heart raced. There was nothing he could do. Moving in any way would be seen as disrespectful and a direct violation of orders, but standing there with an incomplete uniform was just as bad, not to mention the fact that the hat was directly in the president's path. Miller wanted to hide from pure embarrassment, but instead, he had to maintain his stoic, orderly manner like his life depended on it. He was bracing himself to be reprimanded or to receive a disapproving look, or so he thought. What actually happened took him completely off guard. Noticing the incident, President Trump broke away from his entourage, bent down, and picked up the hat. With a smile, he placed it back on Miller's head and gave him a reassuring pat on the arm. Miller could hardly believe what had just happened. Instead of the embarrassing encounter he had anticipated, he received praise and reassurance. Never in his life had he thought something like that would happen. Maintaining his stoic behavior, he continued to stand at attention for the president, determined to carry out his duty as planned. However, the wind had other ideas, and his hat was blown off once more. Miller's reflexes twitched. If only he had been able to move, he could have caught it, saving himself further embarrassment. But it was not to be. The hat, now fluttering along the ground, crossed Trump's path. Miller held his breath. The president had already been so understanding. Would he really retrieve the hat again? Completely undeterred, Trump chased down the hat once more. To Miller, it seemed the president was having quite a laugh, chasing it like a child trying to catch a butterfly. Miller was horrified. He was a nobody. Why would the president go to such lengths to do something so kind for him? After a third attempt to catch it in the gusty wind, Trump finally succeeded. This time, he handed the elusive hat to a nearby military official instead of returning it to Miller himself. The official then brought the hat back to the worried Marine, who securely placed it back on his head. Miller saw the president smile slightly at him before ascending the stairs to the loud plane behind them. The military official also gave Miller a slight nod of reassurance before following the president. This meant the world to Miller. Despite feeling he had failed miserably at his job, he had experienced an interaction he never could have imagined. The gesture was so unexpected, and it touched everyone who witnessed it. The president, a figure often surrounded by formality and protocol, had taken a moment to address a minor mishap with a personal touch. The simple act of picking up the hat and placing it back on Miller's head was a powerful symbol of respect and camaraderie. For Miller, the moment was both humbling and inspiring. As if that wasn't enough, later that evening when he went home, he was caught off guard once more. Someone had filmed the entire incident and shared it online. The footage was spreading fast. The incident quickly became a viral sensation. Footage of President Trump's actions circulated widely on social media and news outlets. The media highlighted the president's unexpected gesture, noting that it was rare for a president to engage in such a personal and spontaneous act. Analysts and commentators were quick to weigh in, offering their interpretations. Some praised Trump's down-to-earth demeanor, while others viewed it as a staged moment for positive publicity. Despite the varying opinions, the general consensus was that the incident had humanized the president, showing a side of him rarely seen in public. Social media was ablaze with reactions, ranging from heartfelt praise to lighthearted memes. The footage of the president chasing the hat and returning it to Miller became an iconic moment, replayed countless times on television and online. For Private Miller, the moment felt unreal. Despite his strict training, nothing had prepared him for such a personal encounter with the president. Initially surprised, he quickly regained his composure, maintaining professionalism throughout the incident. He felt proud for staying calm in an unexpected situation. When Miller got home, his parents called, proud to see the moment on TV. In the following days, he reflected with a mix of pride and humility, receiving support from friends, family, and fellow Marines. While the incident brought him unexpected fame, Miller remained focused on his duties, guided by the Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment. The event sparked nationwide discussion. Veterans expressed pride, and civilians appreciated the genuine, unscripted moment. For many, the president picking up the hat symbolized respect for service members. It transcended politics, showing a rare human touch from a powerful leader. What do you think of Trump's action? Let us know in the comments section. Thank you.